Alright, this is our gear list, my gear list for uh, our 2014 through hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. Uh, my wife and I are going to be doing it. We're going to start in Campo on the 24th of April 2014. We're going to be sharing a lot of gear, so that's going to help out. Um, One of the things we're sharing is our Big Agnes Fly Creek UL Platinum 2. This was a gift from my buddy, my best man at our wedding. This thing's great. It weighs 2 pounds 2 ounces. It's got a rain fly. If you don't put the rain fly on, the whole thing's completely mesh except for the bathtub bottom. We've got a piece of Tyvek for a ground sheet. Usually I don't use them, but on such a long hike, I feel like there's going to be a lot of abrasion on the bottom of the tent. So I really want to cut that down as much as possible and help with that piece of Tyvek, which is just a few ounces anyways. I'm going to be carrying all my gear in the Granite Gear Crown VC60. Great pack, 2 pounds 2 ounces. I added the hip belt pocket from them. I thought about going with something a little lighter, but I like that theirs is customized to their pack. I also took out the original plastic frame and made my own frame out of 1/4 inch aluminum and shaved 2 ounces off of that. For sleeping, we're going to be sharing the Z-Packs twin quilt sleeping bag. It's like 2.5 pounds, just under 2.5. So warm. I believe it's a 900 fill. Perfect for what we're doing. I'm going to be sleeping on the Exped. I believe it's UL7. It is, I believe, 17 ounces or 18 ounces, a little on the heavy side. I had a NeoAir, and I just had a lot of problems. It seemed it picked up a lot of holes, and I couldn't patch them all, or when I get them all patched, others would form. So I want something just a little bit more on the robust side. I also have the matching Exped pillow, which is like an ounce, I think. One of the problems we had in the past is our sleeping mats will separate in the middle, and you've got this big cold spot. So I made this piece goes over the top of both of our mats and holds them together, and there's another piece on the bottom, and then I got string on both sides that I tie and cinch it together, and it holds them together, keeps them from sliding apart. This weighs I think 4 ounces. Little extra weight, but I really feel it's worth it to keep us our pads together, keep them from sliding apart. Let's see. We're going to have a bunch of these. The Nalgene Canteen 3-liter. They're super lightweight for in the desert. Want to carry a lot of water because there'll be big long stretches where you're going to have no water source, and we just want to make sure we got enough water to get us through there. My toiletries bag, toothbrush, toothpaste, brush, some other stuff. Don't know the exact weight on that, but not that heavy. Got a bug net, more for in the Sierras, in my little Exped pillow case. I'm using the Black Diamond Spot, which is a little on the heavy side, but it is just a really good bright light. So if we plan on doing night hiking, you'll see everything like high beams on a car. We're going to be sharing a solar panel for charging our electronics. I'm going to be using my phone as the GPS, and that'll be our main system for navigation. And I want to make sure we just have enough power to be able to get us there. So this is pretty light. I think it's about 7 or 8 ounces, and it comes with this battery. Charge the battery up. You can get about 3 or 4 phone chargings out of one of these batteries, so you can get that nice and charged, and then if it's nighttime or you don't have any sun, you still have the ability to charge up your devices. Also going to be taking my tablet. We're going to watch. It's one of our big luxury items. It's kind of on the heavy side, but have the option to send it home if we feel like we're not using it. Going to be able to watch. I'm loading it up with movies, so like at the end of a long day, feeling kind of out of it, just want to relax in the tent, watch a movie. One of those big kind of mental things to help push you through what you're doing. This is a tripod for my cell phone. The cell phone fits in here like that, and then that just screws onto any standard threading for a tripod. I plan on getting a stick pick. Right now the website is sold out of the size that I use for my Comperdel trucker poles. Hand sanitizer, a little first aid kit with some other kind of spare things, mini compass, some band-aids, matches, ibuprofen, Benadryl, floss, a little mini light, fishing line. I have a video on my channel about these. Made them for my bachelor party. It was a party gift. This is some just cheap, I believe it's Mason line string. I got at Home Depot, which is reasonably strong, very lightweight and super cheap, and you can just get a ton of this stuff. I'm going to use it for a clothesline. Toilet paper. For most of the trip, I plan on having just this cheapo plastic emergency poncho for my rain gear. I think it weighs like 2 ounces, and you can use it a couple times and then throw it out when you're done. But it like never rains in the desert, rarely rains in the Sierras. I'm more worried about rain towards the end in Oregon and Washington, and for that I've got other gear set aside. Clothing that I'm going to be wearing, I've got an REI, I don't know what it's called, it's just like a stretchy fabric, almost like a spandex, but it's real breathable and lightweight. Long sleeve with the zip up, kind of high collar. I've worn this on 2 big trips, and I hope it will last through this last one. Ex officio underwear. I just got into using these toe socks on our last trip, and I love them. Never get any blisters anymore between my toes, which is where I would get most of my blisters from the friction and the rubbing. I plan on getting quite a few of these just on backup for when I need them mailed to me. Taking 2 pairs of those, and I'm taking 1 pair of heavy socks for sleeping at night. I find that helps keep me really warm while I'm sleeping. I'm using, actually I bought these a number of years ago too, and this is my second pair. Bear Grylls pants from Craighopper. Long pants. I don't like shorts. I figure this keeps the bugs off real well, keeps the sun off. I'd much rather be just a little bit warmer than be putting on layers and layers of sunscreen throughout the day, and then it's just, I'm gummed up at the end of the night. And they're really not that warm in the heat. They breathe real well, they dry real well, and they keep the sun off you. For shoes, I'm using Brooks Cascadia 7s. That's kind of like the standard for thru hikers. I put a pair of those sole insoles. You put them in the oven, you warm them up, and then you put them in your shoes, and it conforms to the shape of your feet. And they've just been like the most amazing shoe I've ever worn since I've done that. And they were great before that. To taking a pair of just real old cheapo Nike running gloves for gloves. I've got a REI Fleece. It's like a long john shirt for a warm layer, usually for sleeping, so I'm not wearing my sweaty day layer at night. And then I've got a matching pair of fleece long john bottoms for sleeping, or if I need a warm layer during the day. I don't know if I'm going to keep these the whole trip. I've got a lighter pair of moisture wicking long johns that I picked up at Target for like $5, and they're very lightweight. And I might take those instead, or have them mailed to me and swap out. This is my down puffy. It's First Descent. I got this right when they came out with this line. It's a special edition 900 fill. I think it's about 11 ounces. It's a little on the heavy side, but for the amount of fill it down, it's really worth it. I don't think I'm going to need a heavier layer throughout the whole trip. I do have on standby a heavier, more of a winter down jacket for possibly in the high country, or the in the north towards the end. I don't think I'm going to need it though. I've got a pair of Montbell, I believe they're called Tech Down pants that I'm going to have on standby too, just in case I need something warm, but I'm not going to be taking them with me. And I've got a merino wool First Descent hat that I love. I've been wearing this thing for 3 or 4 years. It's my hat. I've lost it a number of times and magically found it, and hopefully it will last through this trip as well. Super warm, super lightweight, breathes great, still keeps you warm when it's wet, which is what merino wool does. It doesn't lose any R value when it gets wet. The trusty Sawyer water filter system, super lightweight. I think it's 4 ounces for the whole deal, 4 or 5 ounces. Nothing mechanical to break down. We had an MSR hyperflow filter, and it would get clogged and it would get really hard to pump, and taking breaks to pump water was like another 10-15 minutes of work. And this is a lot easier. We have a SteriPen that we're going to have on standby just in case we need something different or this fails or whatever, but this is what we're going to rely on probably the whole trip. For cooking, we are both bringing jet boils. I've had this jet boil for a very long time, and I'm just going to use it until it stops working, and then I'll probably go with something a lot lighter after that. But it's trusty. I've never had any problems with it. I recently replaced the original stove for the newer lighter one, which I like a lot better. You can control the heat a lot better, the flame. Got a micro fleece towel that I keep with it for cleaning and just keep stuff from rattling around inside of it. A lighter because the sparker on here stopped working, and as of yet they don't sell the replacement sparkers for the new style of stove. And then I also have a tin or a pop can stove, just in case we get to a town and they don't have our fuel. We can still get some denatured alcohol and still be able to cook our food. Titanium spoon. I've drilled speed holes in the handle. I was hoping that would make it lighter, but really I removed so little material, it did nothing. But it looks a lot faster. Let's see what else. Gear on standby. Like I said, I've got the Montbell pants and the heavy winter jacket. Don't think I'll need the jacket. I've got a Go Light poncho tarp. I like the poncho tarp because it fits over your pack. You don't need to have a pack liner or pack rain cover or anything like that. It's just one piece, covers everything, and then if you need shelter or something outside of your tent for cooking or whatever little odds and ends, you can put that up with some rope and your trucker poles. I've got a video on my channel of different ways to set this up as well. I've got another pair. These are Cascadia 8s. They're nice. They're a little bit stiffer. The mesh on the outside is more of a plastic, whereas the mesh on the 7s feels more like a material or a cloth. They fit just a little bit larger. I wear size 10, and these have just a little more wiggle room than the 7s. But I think that'll be good later on in the trail when my feet have swollen. We'll see. I'm also going to have another pair of Cascadia 7s on hand, just in case I decide this isn't what I want to go with. I've got a pair of heavy gloves. These are great. They've got, I believe it's Thinsulate inside them. They're so warm. They're leather. Mountaineering gloves. A little overkill. I don't think that I'll need these either, but just in case, if we get into the north and we need something real heavy. I've got spare trucker pole tips for my Comperdel trucker poles. I've got a spare, much lighter headlamp, just in case I decide the black diamond is too much. I've got a Under Armour kind of a first layer shirt just to have on hand, and then a lot more of these ponchos just in case we use some and we don't feel like we want to commit to our rain gear just yet. Have these sent in our resupply boxes. And then my trucker poles, which I forgot to put out here, are Comperdel, 6 ounces each. Excellent poles. So that is my gear list. Thank you for watching.